the other day, and and she said she's happy to have you around because she went to Michigan State with you. Lauren? She said, I didn't know. I wore one day. I came in with my Michigan State stuff. And like, hey. And so ever since then, she said, we've been cool, so.
No, Lauren's been great. Just obviously that's a very important side of things, what she's doing in the community side, and that's something that we all take very seriously. And, I have an appreciation for her. She stands in front of things. She's, those, as much as you want to help the community, I think the side that people don't realize is all of that falls in line with everything you're doing with basketball, with everything you're doing with your family. And so it is a commitment. And there are days where you just like you don't have that in you. But when you have someone that's willing to stand in front of you, most importantly, that's not afraid to be told no, it ultimately boosts the engagement in the community. Because if you're not afraid to be told no, more often than not, you won't, And so I think it just increases the volume, and that's important.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down with her tomorrow. Now, about basketball, though, how do you feel, man?
I feel good. Just getting my explosiveness back, getting my wind back. I feel good. It was good to be in practice today, and, just to feel that energy, just be out there with the guys and with some structure, kind of filling back in, figuring different things out that's been installed since I've been out. It's still a little ways away, but overall I feel great. I continue to see progress, continue to see myself getting stronger, so continue to take it day by day, but I feel great.
At the All-Star break, you gave a 3 to 4 week timetable on when you might be on the court. Is that something you're still trying to stick to, or what's that look like now?
I'm trying to stick to as fast as I can possibly get back, and be prepared to dominate. I was dominating when I got hurt. I plan on coming back and dominating. I don't want to limp back out there and trying to figure it out as I go. Like, I want to come back strong, just stronger than I left. So I'm still a little ways away from that, and that's okay. I think we got 22 games left, so if I can just get some of those under my belt before the playoffs, I'll be fine. So just keep taking it day by day, week by week. Continue to see progress, and my progress has been tremendous. I think from where I am today, I think if you guys knew where I was 8 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago, it's night and day. So very pleased with where I am, and just continuing to try to get better and work myself back.
What's been one of the more difficult aspects of recovering from an injury like this?
Not being able to do nothing, not being able to travel, not being able to sit on the bench, not being able to just be around a team, and then going from the absolute top to the absolute bottom. And when I say absolute top, I mean absolute top of my performance to the absolute bottom of my performance. To go from playing at the level I was playing at to like not being able to do anything. I think that's the toughest part, like I said before, it was hard to wrap my mind around it, because it's not like I did something in a game and it's like, that's where that came from. Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. So it took some time to wrap my mind around it as well, but ultimately just wanted to focus back up as quick as I can and just travel this road I've been on.
Draymond, was there a point where you thought you would be done for the season?
No. I mean, anytime you hear surgery, anytime someone mentioned it, you get nervous. But that was quickly put to bed by everyone. Like, we don't think you need surgery. So No, it wasn't. I mean, I think in starting the rehab process and like seeing where I was at the very beginning of the rehab process, like in my mind, I'm like, man, this is not a month away, or like say 6 weeks away, like. And for someone who's never been injured to this magnitude, like, you don't really know how fast things progress or how slow or fast they will progress. And so I think for me, it was never after the beginning of the initial reports and what it could be, it was never a doubt of like, will I be healthy enough per se? Will the actual injury, but just like, will I be able to rebuild my strength in time to get back? And like I said, day one from stepping out on the court, like kind of doubt. I have a lot of doubt. Like I don't know if this, from where I am right now, how fast this is going to go. And now I can see it, but if there was any time where I'm like, where I didn't think I'd be able to return this year, it was probably me stepping back on the court for the first time.
You guys, in recent years, would always look at the number one seed when you were playing in Oakland, especially. You want to get Oracle, be the last place. This year, you guys are number 2, and nobody seems to be really worried too much about getting number 1. If you get there, fine. If you don't get there, fine. If you and James and Andre are all healthy, and you go in at the 2 seed, you have any worries at all?
I'm not sure we've ever won a playoff series and didn't win a road game.
You've been in 23 playoff series. You, Clay, and Stephen have won at least one road game in every of those 23 series.
Exactly. And I said that to say the goal is to go win one on the road anyway. Like whether that's you trying to close out in 4 or trying to close out in 5 or trying to close out in 6 or 7. The goal is always to go win one on the road. If we're the 2 seed, you just got to go win one on the road anyway. And so I think after going through it so many times, you understand to exhaust yourself for the 1 seed. I mean, ultimately, yeah, okay, you get an extra game at home in the series or a closeout game at home. But I've won game 7s on the road and I've lost game 7s at home. So it don't really matter. I mean, if you can get it, great. But I don't feel like, and I don't think anyone in this organization feels like it's worth it to exhaust yourself trying to chase after it.
It sounds like what you're saying is if you're healthy, you just take your chances.
Of course. I mean, if you're healthy, you're always trying to win every game you can win. But if you're not healthy, it's no use of rolling guys out there and risking more injury, or if some guys a little beat up, risking that possibly getting worse. It's not worth it. So, if you're 100% healthy, which no one is, and you got a chance to go after it. But like I said, I don't see or feel any reason to exhaust ourselves trying to chase after it.
In the past, Draymond, you guys have had several centers. You always had a few, and when it was winning time, you became the center. How much are you factoring in the idea that you probably will have to play more center in more playoff games as you kind of get your body ready for the playoffs?
I'm definitely factoring it in, but one thing I can assure you, right now I am way stronger than I've ever been in my life, in part due to I spent 6 weeks just sitting in the weight room, doing weight room and working in there for 4 and 5 hours a day. So if I've ever been prepared for it, I think I'll be more prepared for it this year than ever. Now, in saying that, how many centers in this league are you actually worried about taking advantage of you because you're smaller? Not many. There's a few that will take complete advantage of you being small, but there aren't many that can take complete advantage of you being small. And so, and then also, I mean, like a lot of these guys that are centers, like they're bigger But they're not really bigger. Like, I mean, they may appear bigger, but they ain't really bigger. So it is what it is. I mean, one thing's for certain, I feel like I can guard just about any center in this league. There are a couple that I'm gonna struggle with. Those same couple that I may struggle with, centers struggle with, and that's for certain. So I don't really get caught up in it, whether I'm gonna play more center or not, because if I am playing center, then I just need to do what I have to do at the center position to affect the game for us in a positive way. And if I'm at the center on the offensive end, that's usually a problem for the other team. So hopefully I am mostly at center.
Loon was in here earlier, and one of the things he said was that, asking about J.K., he said one of the keys to his development has been that he's become a better listener. What are you seeing? What do you think have been the keys to J.K.'s rise? Because you're seeing now a guy that looks like he got some game.
He's definitely and that's maturity. No one ever talks about what a guy's gone through in life before they come here and how that could affect you as a person, as a player, as a student of the game. No one talks about that side of things. And so just to see his growth, to see him wanting to learn, you have an appreciation for that, and you want to help more and more. And, he's been fantastic. His game is continuing to improve. He's continuing to help this team in different ways. And you can see the growth on both ends of the floor. So listening is very important, especially when you're on a team where you have vets. You can look around this league, and some of these teams, if you're on some of these spots, who do you look to for veteran leadership? I always wonder that when you have teams struggling or tanking, you better put some vets around them guys, or else they just learn the wrong way of doing things. And so he's taking advantage of the situation he's in, and that's always great to see.
Kind of to follow up on that, where have you seen the most growth from Kuminga, his game, especially over the past couple of months? I
think it's shot selection. Shot selection has improved a ton. I think he did and coming into the season, he did the typical thing most guys do, which is I want to show you I can shoot so bad that I'm going to probably take some shots I shouldn't. And in turn, you end up showing the exact opposite because you just want to show it so bad. Once he got past that and stopped trying to prove to everybody he could shoot, then ironically the shots start falling. And that's kind of how it goes. You can't basketball isn't a sport that you can just press your way through. There are some guys that you can just press your way through, but ultimately it catches you. It's more rhythm than anything, and feel and pace. And so I think for him, the biggest thing I think is shot selection. And yeah, you may have a three, but it's pretty damn hard for a team to stop you when you put your head down and get to the rim, especially with the shooting on the floor. So I think his biggest area of growth is just understanding the pictures around him. I think that's been huge for him.
Draymond, if you look at the numbers, Steph has historically shot the ball better from deep after the All-Star break. Is that something you've noticed, over the years playing with him? And if so, what do you think the reason for that is?
No, I haven't noticed that. To me, it seems like he always shoots it well from deep. So, and I don't know the reason why. I think for the most part, for anyone, you kind of get that second win after the All-Star break, and you're tuning up for playoffs, and you're in the gym a little bit more than you normally are because you are getting ready for playoffs, and you want to make sure you put yourself in the best position possible to be successful. And so, if there's anything, maybe that, but it's not something that I've ever noticed.
All right, two quick ones on Zoom. Kendra, go ahead with yours.
For me, it's literally just continuing to strengthen and get my explosiveness back to where it was, or better, really better than it was before I went down. And so that's why I said it could be 3 months. 3 weeks. It could be 4 weeks. Like it's no guide to how strength is going to grow. I mean, how it accumulates, how strong you're going to be, how fast that's going to happen. Like, there's no guide to that. Everybody's different. And so from where I am, like, yeah, you feel that it's 3 weeks or so. But it could be 5 weeks or so, which is also why I said, like, if I'm not back in 3 weeks, it don't mean I necessarily suffered a setback. Just kind of feel like I'm not ready yet, And so I think what I've gathered from it is it's no set thing. It's no, hey, this is the date and, like, book it. Like, we knew January 9th was Clay date. Like, it's not that. It's a very fluid thing. It could be 3 weeks. In a week and a half, we could, like, man, your conditioning is at a level, your strength is at a level, your explosion is at a level where you could possibly, you can go back out there. It could be 4.5 weeks, like, it's just no guide to it. It's literally just rebuilding my strength and explosiveness, and I've seen that dramatically change over the last 2 weeks. And so whereas I'm like, even a couple weeks ago where I'm like, all right, everybody's like 3 to 4 weeks. All right, cool. I'm rolling with that. I don't know if I feel like it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm rolling with it. Now I can see it. But that's also my inexperience in dealing with rehab. I've never had to deal with a rehab like this to this level in my life. So it's a different thing for me that I can't, as much as I want to share or would love to tell you this is what it is, and that's how I'm the last person that can tell you, because I'm probably as inexperienced as anyone when it comes to rehab.
Great. All right, Anthony Slater with the last one. Go ahead.
Yeah, contact scrimmaging would be next. Do you feel like you're close to, like, actually getting in a contact setting? And then the second part of that, you mentioned the idea of having some type of ramp up before the playoffs. What is a reasonable amount of games you think you want to get in before the playoffs?
If it was up to me, it'd be 20. But I don't think that's realistic. So just as soon as like I said, as soon as I feel like I'm whole and can get back out there and get my feet back under me and get my feel back before the playoffs, great. If that's 15 games, fantastic. If it's 10, then I'll make do. If it's 5, then the 5's going to have to work. And that's just kind of where I am. As far as contact scrimmaging, hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later. But again, I can't really tell you, like, oh, I'm ready for contact scrimmaging, because I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that that looks like. I don't know, like, where are you from a progression standpoint to where it's like, oh, you're ready for contact now. I mean, if it's up to me, I'll tell you I'm ready for contact today. Am I really ready for contact today? Probably not, but if you want me to tell you, I'm ready for contact today. So I don't really know. I don't have the answers. Like I said, I've never been through it before, so it's not something that I can draw to and be like, all right, when I got to this point, that's when I was ready for contact. I don't have that luxury, if you will. So just following Rick's lead, taking it day by day, and as he allows me to progress, I go.